attached to those words will influence the decisions you make. So, we're going to have Kai now, and we just want to relax.
Ka titiro atu au I toa tahua
Tori tori wai I toa tahua
Kei hea mai
Te ata
Te mata o ine titama Kei hea mai
Te ata
Te mata o ine titama
Orihi te manu Ko
Kiri
te ata hapara
Purea ana au e te tau Makere ana o kuhere Ka titiro atu au I toa tahua
You know, to some people who are unaware, it does sound a little distant from suicide prevention, but in actual fact, what this exercise is doing here is putting us back into a paradigm that understood connectivity. What this exercise is doing is allowing the groups and the individuals in the groups to reconnect to the indigenous stories, to their tūranga way through story.
And it was a phase that we call, and you'll see it in the booklet there, I noho tata pū ngā atua.
Whichever was one of the atua called Whiro. And Whiro is the atua of Whiro.
We've asked the larger group to break up into 3 smaller groups and to have a discussion, which is what they're doing right now.
Our strategist, he's thinking of all the solutions and the ways forward.
No.
Feel over here.
Yeah, so you would just say,
So the darkness is somewhere that Whiro prefers to be because it's from that darkness that he can foster fear. Uepoto spotted this tiny little light out over by Mum's armpit. His curiosity was bigger than his fear. And he constantly kept bringing his attention back to this light. Now that light is the light of the glowworm. This story that I'm telling then leads us to one of the very first battles. The Battle of Which.
Tia ho maira te marama Kana pāna te ngākau Tira mana ngā whetū Maurei anō kwa he manawa Maku koe e api e Maku koe e pai ake Noho pūmar tonu Kia pūmar tomar I te tapo Noho pauri Ngā raumahara e piritata ana taua Te aroha Te oranga Tono atu hoki mai Pai mutunga Tia ho maira te marama Kana pāna te ngākau Tira mana ngā whetū he manawa Maku koe a pie Maku koe pai ake Kia noho pumai tonu Kia pumai tomau I te tapo noho pauri Ngā raumahara e piritata ana taua Te aroha, te oranga Tono atu hoki mai, pai mutunga Tia ho maira te marama I te poa Kanapa ana te ngakau
Should not be afraid to talk about institutional racism. And the best way to address institutional racism is to think about how we contribute to that problem.
I think it made me realise that I go into uru quite a lot. And I'm okay with that. Learning what indigenising your space was, I was a little bit fearful that I might be going home with a moko kauai. But I'm not cool with that. Remembering the stories, I love the pictures, but then I was thinking, I know these stories, and who told me these stories? And then I'm going to be a grandmother for the very first time in August, and I'm going to be the coolest grandmother because I'm going to tell my moko. They're not going to learn Cinderella and Pinocchio, they're going to learn our stories.
When I started talking about the story, I was just like, oh God, that sounds like my life. With the Mata Ora, I was sharing with fire here. Not so much a happy ending in a different way, but it's given me more tools, I think, to be able to help, so could really relate, and it was neat having all the world behind the kōrero, like the korowai. When their dad died, we put the korowai on upside down, but we were told that's what you do. When you want to keep the korowai, we weren't told, well, how there's all this beautiful, beautiful kōrero, behind it as to why we do what we do. So that was really enlightening. So that was cool, but I could resonate with just about all of these, all the pūrākei.
What comes to mind is right at the beginning of our session, Te Maramatanga Namu Namu. And I resonated with that because I feel myself that I have seen the first phase of light like this from this morning through to this evening. And I'd like to share that with my children. And of course, now Hina Tore, depicting that gleam of hope.
So I want to tell a story about a little girl who grew up in a neighbourhood full of all sorts of people from all sorts of worlds, but had no idea what was her world or where did she fit, because the chaos from the ero who had lived in her world, it created fear. The ngangara lived all around her, and she just was afraid of everything. Until, I think for this person, for me, I was heartened to learn that there is a place, raro hinga, where there's a person like me, Warika, who has this wonderful life, this amazing life, like full of love and compassion and caring and kind, and showed me that world existed. I was so stoked to learn about that story.
Every time Mark gives his kōrero on that pūrākau, I thought I already knew it. I'm always picking something out, something new from it. I'm always learning. I'm an active learner. And from there I moved a step at a time, so not to worry. What I found was I was using it. I made a point of using it and using it and using it till I learned the names, the whānau titi names, the So I learned them and got familiar with all the kupu there.
Three positives from today was revisiting all the pūrākau, and like Auntie Kataroina, Uru was a new atua for me, and he really sat with me. So I was in that place for a little while today. So thank you, Uncle Mark, for that kōrero.
Another positive was actually seeing that awa moment from a lot of yous, ko whānau, with the expressions on your face, the way you said your rawness. We know how you felt, because we felt like that too. It's always marvellous, and you could see the smile on Mark and also Diane's expressions.
And with our wānanga today, I've just gathered all your guys' roimata, your expressions, your wows, your interest towards our taonga, and I'm now feeding our little plant that we have before colonisation. And that's our taonga, and I can now see it grow through the taonga that you guys have connected with. So now this plant that we've grown, it's becoming stronger and stronger.
And then I heard it again, that same kōrero, but I was in a different space, you know, and then more, like I said, at that wānanga, that if I was a Christmas tree, 1,000 lights would be going off right now. And so it kind of like the importance of, you know, it's like a legacy from our tūpuna when you look at it that way. It's a blueprint.
Connecting our pūrākau, connecting up with our stories that some of us have already learned, so now growing up, what you have top and really filled up the kete for me anyway.
Again, it was, you know, the song that's just been resonating in me since I was a kid was, you know, something's missing in my life. And it has been within our own. And so I suppose with putting our kids in kōrero, starting our journey to find who we are. And so my challenge was really in this place of I don't know, I didn't know this kōrero properly, and like our brothers and our sisters, we've got a long way to go to really whakamau te mātauranga, but I celebrate that it's a beginning.
I didn't realise that all of these atua were actually in my life, you know, but today I kind of accept that I am who I am because they've always been there. Yeah? Bloody uru. Yeah, so like yourself, you kind of wish I had a story.
Atua.